It's Nick Diaz versus KJ Noons, the sequel. Now let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen from San Jose, California, the time has come for the Strikeforce World Welterweight Championship and the main event of the evening. It's time for the rematch of Diaz versus Noons.
I think I'm the most well-rounded fighter on the planet. I think I can prove that.
I can't wait to fight. I can't wait to become a two-time, two-division world champion. Teach him a lesson.
KJ Noons is your new world champion.
What went wrong for Nick is, I think styles make fights, and I think my style matched up very good against him.
Doctor stoppage due to cuts.
The doctor took one look at me and signaled somebody, and I could see, I could see well enough to jump the fence, and I was angry because I wasn't done fighting.
I don't have nothing to prove. That night I was the better fighter.
I think KJ is a good fighter because he's good about, putting his punches in and not getting taken down.
I have respect for him as a fighter. If it does go to the ground, that's his specialty. That's what he's good at.
There's no quit in this game, otherwise I never would have made it this far. It's just the way it is.
The way I live is just never give up, no matter what you do. Whether it's Nick Diaz or anybody else, you'd have to kill me to win.
Please welcome to the cage, the challenger, considered MMA's most successful crossover fighter, KJ Noons.
Well, Noons attracting boos like a trailer park attracts tornadoes as he makes his way to the cage, but let's face it, he's got the mental edge, Pat. He's already defeated Nick Diaz once, and in looking back at the fight this week, he really dominated Diaz in that opening round.
He absolutely did. He put it on Diaz the entire time, outboxed him, stuffed takedowns. He did what he had to do. Beautiful performance the first time around.
You're right, he really kind of owned him. I watched it just the other day, and I didn't realize how much KJ Noons totally controlled that fight. Dropped him, did everything he wanted to do. Are we going to see a repeat? Is this the same KJ Noons? Is Nick Diaz is that much better of a fighter? I don't know.
KJ Noons, of course, a gentleman who would like to one day be a champion in boxing, but really, let's face it, Pat, you also have a boxing background. It's hard enough being a champion in one sport, especially like MMA. Shouldn't he put boxing on the back burner right now and focus on his MMA career?
Yeah, become a legitimate and hold a world title for a long time. Then when you carry over to boxing, they pay you big.
And it's interesting because Noons told us that he sees the rematch going the same way as their first meeting. He called Diaz an amazing fighter on the ground, but he went so far as to say that he might end Diaz's career tonight.
I don't know about ending his career, but the boxing skills of KJ Noons, I mean, a lot of guys call themselves strikers in the sport today. Trust me, KJ Noons is a striker. He's got almost 30 professional boxing and kickboxing matches. This kid is fast.
So KJ Noons, who is 2-0 in Strikeforce, looking to defeat Diaz again for another world championship.
And now, the champion and world-renowned Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Nick Diaz.
Diaz receiving a great round of applause from the crowd here in San Jose, the native of Stockton, California. May be a polarizing figure, but one thing is for certain. When you mention world-class athletes, you have to mention Diaz. He's already told us he plans on competing in the World Triathlon Championships in Maui on October 24th. Here is a guy who, when not training to fight, competes in triathlons.
Yeah, and that takes an amazing athlete. You don't run him out of gas. You might out-muscle him now and then, but you're not going to run him out of gas. And another thing, quickly, I tell you what, Diaz coming in, the audacity he has to think of KJ Noons coming into his backyard to fight him for the title. He's got to be motivated.
And Nick Diaz is quite the swimmer. He's escaped Alcatraz 3 separate times.
Diaz faced Strikeforce newcomer and Dream welterweight champion Marius Aramskis to crown the first Strikeforce welterweight champion back in January of this year. And he won the title via first-round TKO. He went on to defeat Japanese legend Hayato Maha Sakurai in Japan in a non-title affair, and of course has been waiting 3 long years to exact revenge on the last man to defeat him, Carl James Nunes.
And what about Diaz and his new calm personality? Is that the calm before the storm, or is he just not wanting to talk to us? Because I have seen a completely different Nick Diaz come out for this fight and speak to us backstage and hang out at the hotel than I've ever seen before.
You know, and he's always been polite to us. He's always been a nice guy the entire time I've known him, but he was smiling.
That's kind of scary.
And the crowd welcoming the Strikeforce welterweight champion to the cage. We are almost set for the main event. Let's check out the tail of the tape.
The thing that stands out is obvious, the height, 4 inches for Diaz. And he definitely has the reach advantage. He's going to want to use that not only with his boxing skills, but on the ground for leverage.
All right, here one more time with the official introductions of this, the Strikeforce welterweight title fight. It's time for the main event. It's time for Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the HP Pavilion as Strikeforce and Showtime present the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Rockstar Energy Drink. Bigger, better, faster, stronger. Party like a rock star. Tonight's action is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. The chairman is John Frierson, executive officer George Dodd. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 5-minute rounds for the Strikeforce World Welterweight Championship. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and MMA fans joining us around the world, live from San Jose, California, it's showtime! Introducing to you first, the challenger, fighting out of the blue corner with a multi-sport background in boxing, kickboxing, and Muay Thai. His MMA record stands at 9 wins, 1 loss, with 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of San Diego, California, by way of Kailua Kona, Hawaii. Here is the challenger and the former lightweight world champion, his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. One of MMA's outstanding, well-versed fighters, raised in the traditions of boxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. His record includes 22 wins, 7 losses, and 1 no contest, with 12 knockouts and 7 submissions to his credit. From Stockton, California, here is MMA's bad boy, the 2-time title holder, and the current Strikeforce World Welterweight Champion, introducing Nick Diaz. And in charge now to give instructions, Josh Rosenthal.
Gentlemen. All right, gentlemen, you give your instructions to the back. I expect a clean fight. Obey my commands all times, defend yourselves all times. Let's go back, let's do this.
At this time, we would like to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world watching tonight on the American Forces Network. We sincerely thank you for all that you do, and we hope that you are enjoying tonight's telecast from San Jose. It's about to culminate with the Strikeforce Welterweight Championship. Listen to this crowd. We are ready to rock. Let's fight. Diaz feeling what the late great Tupac referred to as California love for KJ Nunes. He has to follow the exact same game plan he did in their first meeting 3 years ago, where he was
but this is MMA.
A lot of posturing going on early. Nunes kind of laughing at Diaz about the kicks.
I thought that was a good move that he came out and kicked first.
Diaz in the midst of a career-high 7-fight win streak. His last loss was against Nunes. 9 of his wins have come in the first round. For Nunes, he's riding a 6-fight win streak, with 3 of his victories inside the opening stanza.
Diaz is getting caught on the outside here, and sticking his chin out ain't gonna help.
Diaz catches him with the straight jab, and he catches him with a 1-2 combo. Nunes goes downstairs with a body combination.
I tell you what, though, Nunes has great jabs also because he's been landing them. That kid's fast.
Let's not forget their first meeting took place at 160 pounds. This one's at 170. Nunes used to fighting at 155. Left hook catches Diaz, and he gets stunned by Diaz. And the takedown. Nunes in trouble early.
Nunes was looking at his work. He faked the jab, threw the hook, hit Diaz with it, and didn't move his head. Diaz came right back with the cross and dropped it.
And one of the only a handful of few individuals to be a Cesar Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Diaz is in his domain here from cross-side position.
And look for him to become a blanket right now.
Shoulder
and
strikes.
Cover up Nunes, striking him, controlling him, and fatiguing him out.
And the crowd in San Jose, listen to them.
You know, the longer Diaz waits here, the longer Nunes has to recover.
The chants of Diaz reverberating throughout the Shark Tank, and here Diaz now, very methodical for KJ Nunes, not used to being on his back.
The last time they were in this position, Diaz advanced a little high, and Nunes was able to scramble himself out with a little bit of out the back door action. He's got a tight grip on him now. That's not going to happen here.
Just past the midway point of round number 1, scheduled for 5. Pat, what does Nunes have to do to escape here, because Diaz seems to be setting him up?
Number 1 there. He needs to create separation and get his rear end up.
And that's exactly what he does. Nunes fights his way back up to his feet. Diaz now begins to taunt him. Lots of trash talk leading up to it. The infamous words, "Don't be scared, homie."
That's got to give Diaz a shot in the arm, what he just did in the first round.
A right hook by Diaz. It may not be the prettiest, it may not be the most technical, but he also has a pro boxing background and has trained and sparred with the likes of Andre Ward, who of course is involved in the Super 6 here on Showtime. And now Diaz beginning to pepper away at Nunes. We're not seeing the head movement like we saw in the first meeting.
I was just about to say that. Very good point, Morrow. He needs to move his head more, and he needs to get off better. He's not doing that right now.
Now Nunes goes with a right. Diaz drops levels. Nunes backs away. Interesting, Diaz fighting now from the orthodox stance. Eats that jab from Nunes. Final 55 seconds of the opening round. Diaz in the red gloves, Nunes in the blue. Body shot countered by Nunes. Nice body shot there with the left hand. So really Diaz targeting the head, Nunes working the body.
What was successful for Nunes in the first fight is he'd go to the body, then come upstairs right afterward. He hasn't been doing that. Maybe he's trying to set it up better.
But Nunes is reaching deep with them punches. He's throwing a lot of power, but he's awful far in range. Diaz is still holding the range with those long, quick, snapping jabs.
Again, a 4-inch reach advantage for Diaz.
So I like the way Nick's popping that jab, and I think he should follow up with a high kick when he gets Nunes down there.
And Diaz may not have been very loquacious in his interview with Heidi Andra, but he is talking up a storm here in round number 1. Diaz Nunes, the rematch is headed to round 2.
It's all about the big punch, and you only need one to change this fight. That left hook landed by Nunes, but he is sitting there looking at his goodie work. And Diaz hit him with a short, straight right, dropped him right over onto his side. Good positioning. And same thing, look at Nunes, a little bit of boxing skill. That feint, that leaping left hook, it landed. but he's standing there looking at how pretty it is, and he caught a very short right hand right on the chin. It's worth another look at it. Look at this. Oh! That hurts. That hurts, Pat.
Leather, it's what's for dinner.
Along with two former champions, Pat Miletich, Frank Shamrock, along with Heidi Andral. We hope you're enjoying the main event, round 2 underway. It definitely is not deja vu all over again because Diaz is not sporting the proverbial crimson mask, and we are actually starting round number 2, unlike their first meeting.
Yeah, he did a good job of not getting hit. I mean, Diaz is the one moving his head and staying out of trouble in this fight so far.
Nice combination, right hand to the body, left hand upstairs, and Diaz is now cut. He's cut.
I spoke too soon, didn't I?
Yeah, you jinxed it, Pat. You jinxed it. That's a good left
And
hook.
now Nunes is talking back to Diaz. I wish we had the mic.
And he's cut him right where he cut him last time.
Diaz is not happy.
Forget about the pleasantries they may have exchanged at the press conference. These two do not like each other. And there's another shot delivered with bad intentions.
Well, Nick is getting pulled out of a grappling game here.
And here we go again. Diaz reaching for the shoot. Nunes scrambling away.
Diaz needs to do a better job of setting up his takedowns. You can't just shoot on a guy. You got to throw a combo. Make him respect the punches, then get in clean.
And there's Nunes rocking Diaz with the left. And Diaz comes back with a right. How did you guys score the opening 5 rounds? Or the 5 minutes, I should say.
I gave it to Diaz, obviously, in the first round.
I gave it to Diaz.
But now Nunes picking up momentum here, round 2. Smells the blood, sees the blood flowing down. The right eye of Diaz working the body. Diaz shells up, the jab peeks through the guard, and Nunes beginning to pick apart the champion.
Notice the difference in Diaz in this round. The reason he's not as effective is because Diaz is not, or Nunes is not going backwards. You have to crowd Diaz.
Nice little combination there. The pitter-pat jabs, irritating Nunes with the kick. Nunes with a body shot. It's a smorgasbord of strikes, and we wouldn't have it any other way for this grudge rematch.
Diaz switching up to southpaw. Let's see what Nunes does about that. Might start coming with straight rights.
The crowd once again trying to exhort Diaz. Midway point of round 2. Blood beginning to trickle down from the nostrils of Nunes. Not as dangerous a place as the cut. Diaz's eye, and it's hard to detect where that cut is.
It looks like it's almost in the crease of the nose, maybe. I can't quite tell.
Well, Nunes is starting to mix it up with more than just punching now.
Digging away with another body shot. In fact, they exchanged some great body shots there. 4-ounce gloves. Mixed martial arts. KJ Nunes, Nick Diaz putting it all on the line. Right hand by Nunes catches Diaz, the left. Even more blood now flowing after he got hit with that shot.
And Nick's volume has slowed down a lot. Before that, volume was doing him good work.
I think when you got a guy that's as sharp as Nunes, you're a little more careful. You don't throw quite as many because you don't want to get caught as much.
They get hesitant. After we talk about the feints and stuff too, Nunes starts feinting him, trying to pull him out.
Final 60 seconds of the second round, a round in which KJ Nunes has exhibited that superior technical striking. And again, the jab and resiliency as well, bouncing back, and a knee by Nunes.
He's trying to set up the heavy head shots by going to the body. He's been doing it quite a bit.
There's seems to be more pep in the step of Nunes. Again, those body shots strafing the rib cage of the champion.
Beautiful shots.
Nunes works great angles as he leans off, punches up, punches around.
Nunes is definitely getting into a rhythm.
Pat, how would you say to get Nunes down then?
You got to set it up with punches.
Final 5 seconds of the second round. A round that has been dominated by KJ Nunes.
Oh. Big kick closes out the round. All right, let's take a peek at let's take a peek at this here. Here's where that cut came in. It was that looping left right there. Caught him right on the eye, nose, instant blood, and the instant conversation that followed that. I think it was, that didn't hurt. And then Nunes standing out there, gets the same thing, little pop, quick right. Pays Diaz back with a shot to the body. And Nunes was the one really starting to mix it up, coming in with flying knees, trying to kick high, kick low, really changing the striking game. KJ Nunes has made this a striking game.
And I'm sure Nick Diaz's heart stopped beating for a moment. Dr. Gary Furness was checking out the cut after the second round, but the fight will continue. How do you guys have it after 2 rounds?
I've got it 1 round apiece.
Yeah, I got it 1-1.
Nunes dominating in the second round, 57 of 109, 52% rate, 24 of 79, just 30% for Nick Diaz.
I tell you what, Nunes' timing on throwing those knees when people shoot is pretty impeccable. And that also helps the fact that Diaz isn't setting his takedowns up, so Nunes sees him coming.
And he changed his stance a little bit. KJ Nunes changed his stance a little bit when he came out on that round. He was sitting back like a little Thai guy, waiting to pop that knee up.
Knowing that KJ Nunes seems to have the momentum in the striking department, is this Diaz's pride that may be costing him right now, or what can he do?
Well, I think, like Pat said earlier, his takedowns aren't very strong.
No.
So he's not setting him up with some type of combination and covering the fact that he's going in.
What would you do to set up? What would you do to set up the takedown, Pat?
Well, you've got to hit it. You've got to hit combos with your hands. Make somebody respect your boxing, respect your power, and then get in cleanly. You just can't shoot without throwing punches.
Diaz lands a left there. Nice exchange. Nunes really doing a good job, though, of working the body, but now Diaz seems to be finding his rhythm with that long left jab.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught into a bad rhythm, and when you feel yourself in a bad rhythm, take a step away, take a deep breath, and reset.
But taking a step away is not these guys' arsenal.
Shelling up his Nunes, body shot from Diaz. They promised fistic fireworks. So far, they are delivering here in San Jose, California. We are in round 3, scheduled for 5 for the Strikeforce welterweight title. Nunes and Diaz looking to single shot.
Nunes has got to get back to the fundamentals of using fakes and feints and head movement. You cannot sit still with Diaz.
Right hand catches Nunes, but he comes back looking to attack the body one more time. And if you attack the body, normally that opens up the head. And yet has been unable to really put together that combination. I think it's because of the height and reach advantage of Diaz.
Well, and you've got to remember, we all talked about it, Diaz is much better boxing than he was 3 years ago.
And yet he has a unique style of boxing. He has crashed the CompuStrike computer on more than one occasion. And there he is, the Matador, looking the bull right in the face.
You know, it reminds me of the days of Michael second to none when he was the pound-for-pound best boxer in the world, had this style. A lot of guys try to mimic that.
Again, Pat, with the boxing background, what do you think of this striking affair thus far? I mean, it's very entertaining.
Hey,
do you like what you see?
Absolutely. These guys are the highest level of striking in MMA. They're both very technical fighters. This is like watching someone paint a masterpiece.
And a much closer round of 77. Diaz 38 of 69 at this point.
I almost feel like a body kick would be really good right now.
Interesting that you say that, my friend, because there it was. But a light attempt, and I was thinking the same thing. 90 seconds now left in the third round. Something has got to give. Nice jab from Nunes. Diaz looking to clinch. This would be smart. Knee up the middle. Just a whipping kick. And an inside leg kick from Nunes. Diaz connecting on a higher percent rate here in the third round in the final 60 seconds. 52% compared to 44% for Nunes.
Both guys know that toward the end of the round, they got to pour it on to win the round. They know how to impress judges. They both have enough experience in this. So I'm sure they're going to pick it up here.
Do you think if either fighter got a takedown right now, it would change who was winning this round?
I think it could obviously help, but I don't think either one's really intent on doing that.
Clinch by Diaz. He releases him, throws a right hand. Final 15 seconds of round number 3. And again, the crowd erupting with chants of Diaz. Nunes leaping in with the left. Kick from Diaz. Final 5 seconds. We're headed to the penultimate round of this 5-round championship affair. For the latest on all Showtime sports telecasts, including post-fight interviews with tonight's Strikeforce fighters, log on to sports.show.com. And while I don't think Diaz and Nunes are Facebook friends, you can fan us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for real-time news and information on everything Showtime has to offer. It's all right there at sports.show.com. And Frank, I understand a certain promoter is now on Twitter.
Yeah, apparently the real Scott Coker is now tweeting, so that's definitely something I'm going to check out. We're all tweeters, so tweet it up, my friends.
I'll be following him.
That's right. We got to find out what we're doing next.
Lots of cosmetic work being done. Both fighters showing the badges of what has been a battle for the Strikeforce welterweight title. And for the very first time in each of their respective careers, they are headed to the 4th round.
Little kung fu theater there for Diaz.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
It's working though. He's keeping him away.
Body shot by Diaz. Left jab as well. And he catches Nunes again. Now goes for the tie plum momentarily. Nunes with a nice left uppercut.
You can't play the game where you start locking hands with Diaz. He'll beat you every time.
He's too long and tall.
Do I dare ask how you guys have it through 3 rounds?
I've got Diaz up 2 rounds to 1.
Yeah, I got the same. I like that Diaz got in and pulled the head down of Nunes just a minute ago. I thought that was a strategy he should have employed a little bit more.
Yeah, some knees in there because of his height.
Interesting here now into uncharted territories. We've already expounded on Diaz's tremendous conditioning. Again, a triathlete for KJ Nunes. It'll be interesting. Tremendous shape. But this, again, the first time that he's been in the 4th round. This conditioning could become a factor.
You know, I don't know if it will because it hasn't been on the ground. KJ Nunes has done this a million times in sparring and in fights.
But he's also fighting at a weight he's not used to putting it on.
I don't think it really matters. He's used to striking, so this is gravy for him. If they were on the ground, I'd be concerned about Nunes' endurance.
There's some head movement from Nunes. Fires off some body shots. Inside leg kick. Diaz now going for the collar tie. Nunes again backing away. Setting him up there, and now Diaz again changing stances back to the southpaw stance.
And landing nicely.
And Nunes with that chopping left hand.
Nice head movement that time by Nunes. Got out of the way of that straight left.
But again, we have not seen the head movement. Of course, that was a truncated affair, the first fight, but his head movement was so sweet to watch.
Yeah.
Haven't seen any elbows in this fight.
Oh, left hand tags the job, Diaz. No elbows, you're right. And only a smattering of kicks. It has been a predominantly punching extravaganza. And Diaz now picking up a bar with a jab. Right hand. Nunes tries to come back.
You know, and Nunes said if everything goes to hell in a handbasket, he'll just stand and trade.
That's right, he did say that.
Stand and trade, baby.
And they'll like it.
Is exactly what they're doing. A jab from Nunes. Right hand. Diaz targeting the body. What a tremendous fight for the Strikeforce welterweight championship. Two fighters fighting in the proverbial phone booth. There's the tie clinch. Knee from Diaz.
Nunes has got to move his head more. That's how you slide inside of those long arms and land your shots.
Trying to get his footwork. Diaz backing up. Nunes needs to gauge the distance more, missing with a lot of those shots, but very quick to back out of harm's way when Diaz goes for the clinch, but Nunes capped Diaz on the right jaw. Diaz ate it very well. Final 60 seconds of the fourth round. Nunes now, maybe the pendulum of momentum beginning to swing, but Diaz catches him with a jab. Collar tie, knee calls. He hurt him with that left hand, but Diaz doesn't go after him.
I think Diaz saw something there because he puffed up real big.
Reset.
Yeah, he got a
reset there.
He got a big boost of confidence off that one.
And the crowd sensing it. Again, the chant of Diaz. Final half minute of this fourth round. Has to be careful with the histrionics, and there's that axe kick again, and now he is really taunting KJ Nunes. And I know, Frank Shamrock, you used to do that, but seriously, with so much at stake, would you give that kind of advice, Pat Militant?
I'm not saying anything.
Final 5 seconds. Bring on the fifth and final round. We are in the midst of a classic.
That slugfest is the only word that can to describe what's going on here. Diaz punching first, getting off first, and landing first, shaking Nunes' head around, beating him up pretty good, but Nunes knows where to go. Oh, they're both hitting the body and the head. Nunes is really doing good head movement, weaving inside and out, but he's taking punches as he flows in and out. And I thought he was getting tired. I thought he was wilting, but Nunes definitely had something left. That leaning uppercut, right uppercut, was a monster punch. Diaz shook it right off like it was nothing.
Technical stuff. These guys are slick, man.
And we are set for the fifth and final round. The Strikeforce welterweight champion, Nick Diaz. The challenger, KJ Nunes. The rematch 3 years in the making comes down to this. And the question I have for you, gentlemen, does KJ Nunes need to finish the fight in order to become the champion?
He's in Nick Diaz's backyard. He needs to put a severe beating on him at very least here.
Frank, do you think he needs to finish the fight in order to get the victory tonight?
I think he does. I think he does. I think this was too close. You got to take it from the champ. And he has to take it.
I think Nunes just basically said to Diaz, what's up, dude? You want to wrestle or you want to fight?
Thompson. There is no 6th round. There is no tomorrow. It's the final 3 minutes, 55 seconds. And Nunes now again going downstairs to the body. Diaz, combination upstairs. Nunes ducking down. There's the tie clinch. Oh, and just feeding him. A series of right hands to the side of the head.
Chris Bright.
Last December, Josh Thompson, Gilbert Melendez served up a fantastic 5-round affair that was one of the more memorable scraps of 2009. Well, tonight, here in San Jose, Nick Diaz and KJ Nunes are serving up another classic encounter.
KJ's got to pick it up. He's got to pick it up here. He's got to cut Diaz off. Quit following him around. Cut him off. Put him on the cage and get after it.
And it seems like he's really winging him now, pulling himself out of position to try to get a little bit more power on his punches.
And if it's a moral victory, Nunes again stuffs the takedown, an area that Nick Diaz, as a BJJ black belt, a proficient boxer, wrestling is not his strong suit.
No, absolutely not. I don't think wrestling is either one of these guys' strong suits. And the love of striking, I mean, hey, if you can do it, do it.
Just past the midway point of the final round. KJ Nunes leaps in with a left hook, catches Diaz. Diaz working the angles with a left and a right. And Nunes now just putting everything behind those punches. He has to begin to swing for the proverbial fences.
Yeah, looks like he's almost just measuring now instead of punching and just trying to fire up a couple of big, strong shots.
Final 2 minutes. Diaz avoiding that combination.
That's where he needs to capitalize.
Oh, nice shot there by Diaz. Nunes, and Diaz closes the distance immediately. But again, Nunes able to avoid the clinch. Well done. It's now up to the corners. Time management, shouting out instructions to these two great warriors. Spinning back kick by Diaz, and again, I think that's wanting to add insult to injury.
He's just being mean now.
Oh, but that uppercut, and man, can Nick Diaz take a shot?
Nunes is real slick when he gets his head pulled down to kind of step out a little bit and roll up with a counter strike.
Well, and I think that Diaz doesn't take advantage of his ability to throw knees there. He'd be scoring with them.
Final 55 seconds. Nick Diaz said it after the first fight. If the doctors wouldn't have stopped it, he would not have been finished. Here he is now, 45 seconds away. KJ Nunes may indeed have to channel some Scott Smith action, and of course hands of steel sitting cage side, but Nunes now swinging wildly. Diaz beginning to crowd him. 25 seconds. Diaz switches stances. Nunes has to release every single weapon in his arsenal. I truly believe that, guys.
Yeah, I have it even, but
Do you have it even after 4 rounds?
I have it even after 4 rounds.
And how do you score this one? We are going to the judges. What a fight! What a night! Diaz Nunes 2! Wow! You never want to leave it to the judges, but guys, that's 5 rounds that I thoroughly enjoyed, Frank.
That was impressive, and that fact that they swung the whole time was really impressive.
That was fun to watch.
When they say styles make fights, that's what they're talking about. That's what they're talking about right there.
There's only a few guys in the world that'll stand up and box with either one of these guys. Putting them together is a lot of fun. Very technical, a lot of bravado.
Yeah, the undercurrent of the taunting and the talking and the back and forth is very interesting to see in the psychology of switching back and forth. Well, let's take a peek at the CompuStrike numbers. And Pat, come on, look at the numbers for Diaz.
Hey, but I'll be honest with you, Nunes landed a lot of strikes. You know, he landed 51%, a higher percentage, and more strikes overall. You know, so, hey, Nunes stayed busier. It doesn't always look like it because Diaz stays busy also. But Nunes landed more shots.
And some good shots. Here's a look inside the cage. Highlights from this fight, just non-stop, back and forth. Each guy imposing their will, kind of changing the path, back and forth. I mean, I gave round for round. I thought Diaz kind of ran off a little bit in the end.
Yeah, you know, he definitely pulled back toward the end. His endurance might have paid off there doing triathlons, but man, that's a close fight. You also have to remember you got to do a lot to take the title from the champion.
Yeah, you got to beat the champ. And did Nunes beat it? He beat him up. They stood up. But did he beat the champ? Did he take his belt from him? That's the question. And let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Susan Thomas Gitlin, scores at 48-47. Judge Steve Morrow sees it 49-47. And Steve English sees it 49-46. All 3 in favor of the winner. And still champion, Diaz.
San Jose, California, you just witnessed one of the best 5-round title fights in MMA history. Let's hear it for both Nick Diaz and KJ Nunes. Nick, you waited 3 years to avenge the loss. Even in one piece, talk about your performance tonight. Just a fantastic fight.
You see, the thing is you know, no offense or disrespect, you know, it's all over with, but I beat this guy on the ground or standing up, okay? This is mixed martial arts out here, and it's hard not to go for the takedown. It makes me look really bad as if I need to do that. Now, I'll beat this guy in a boxing match, okay? But I also tap him out on the ground, all right? So if I'm in there shooting for takedowns because I want to bring it to the ground and finish the fight, I want to display my skills to the world because I can do it all. And that's all that is, and that's all that was last time. You know what I'm saying? No excuses.
I know both you guys are boxing fans. Boxing's had many memorable trilogies. Are we set for the rubber match here?
Well, yeah, it's whatever. You know, we can do whatever. Hey, I want to give a shout out to my old sparring partner, Rodney Jones, and SOG, Andre Ward. Thank you for giving me the sparring, the work I need to bring it out here. And I want to thank my little brother, Nathan Diaz, for always being there for me, and Jake Shields and Gil.
Congratulations again to Nick Diaz, the Strikeforce welterweight champion.
Jiu-jitsu.
KJ Nunes, quickly, please. A tremendous effort, KJ. Why do you think you didn't get the judge's decision tonight?
You know, he beat me fair and square. That's it. Good job, Nick.
What about, obviously, the rubber match? You guys are now even at 1 apiece. Do you think you deserve that match next?
You know, whatever the fans want to see. I'll either do it again or I'll work my way back up. But, you know, he beat me fair and square tonight. He was a better man tonight, and congratulations, Nick.
San Jose, are you guys ready to see the rubber match between Nick Diaz and KJ Nunes? What a fantastic fight, and now, congratulations, KJ, on a great performance. It's time to take a look at this preview of Showtime's award-winning original series, Dexter.
This kill won't bring Rita back. It might bring me back.
On the next all-new Dexter.